Testing, testing. All right, so I'm just gonna take a little break from other stuff I was doing to jump in and look at ShaderFes 2019 on VRChat. I was in there last night, and I was looking for some Quest compatible worlds, um, just to have some places to visit with some friends that just got a Quest. And while I was there, I looked at some other stuff, looked at worlds that had good examples of shaders, and this one really stood out. So obviously, it's a collaboration between a lot of creators and their different types of shaders that they wanted to show off within VRChat. And hopefully, if this happens again this year, I have to look into it to see if it's being organized. But if it does, um, it'd be cool to see some more additions to this. The presentation, though, is pretty incredible. So I'm just going to jump in and switch over there. So let's see what we got going on. Oh, by the way, so I just shout out to my friend Emil. I just got a audio interface so I can actually use my microphone now. So let me know what the audio sounds like for anyone watching. Hopefully it's better than it was in the past. I also have like a white noise machine going on in the background, so if that's too loud, someone feel free to drop a comment in there. So we're just going to jump in. The other thing I wanted to show off, let's just make sure it's working, and we're good. Okay. Was so I made an avatar. So I'm still working on my sort of like personal avatar. It's really funny trying to figure out what you want your virtual identity to be is something that um, I hadn't really taken into consideration, despite working um, for a previous virtual platform. Um, because I was wearing a uniform for that job in virtual reality, I kind of didn't really think about too much like how I wanted to present in the virtual world. Um, a little bit. I had, obviously this was kind of like my favorite. I like the ambiguity in avatars that like don't have, um, just going beyond gender, like just like don't have any kind of like this one right here. I think this is from Journey, if I'm not mistaken. Something like this, right? You can't really tell what this is, who they come from, what they are. Um, so I think I'm going to be exploring some of that when I make my own personal avatar. I even like just the idea of uh, going beyond the traditional humanoid figure. So um, anyway, that's a whole topic for a different video. But um, I did try out Taffy, which used to be Morph 3D, but the company has changed their name into Taffy, and they do have an avatar creator that's actually really nice. I think it's in beta right now, but they have a version for VRChat, and maybe I'll do a video on that later. But um, you can make some really cool avatars without having to have any 3D modeling experience. Hopefully, they open up the platform for creators who want to make, hats or different kinds of accessories and stuff. But I think that's moving in the right direction. I'm actually going to switch to this one here, and let's check out the ShaderFes. Not gonna spend too much time on this stream, but let's go here. For me, still the UI for VRChat still leaves a lot to be desired. I wish there was a more elegant way of showing these things instead of having to scroll left and right and up and down. That might be a cool project to try to work out. it's like it's functional, but it's just not really. It's like too busy or something. I don't really know how to describe it. It's kind of like the same issue I have with my own website, the XR Artist Toolkit. It's like a list, right? And it's not it's not an elegant way to present the worlds. I wish you could get um where is this thing? Oh, here we go. I wish you could get this view here as the default, and then you could kind of like combine these two, and maybe this could be the back of the card, and you could flip through, and you know, something a little bit more elegant. Anyway, let's see. I hope everyone's doing well today. I know we're still in this lockdown. Um, I'm curious, how's everyone like staying busy? What's everyone working on? Me personally, I have my hackathon project. We're still in talks with the sponsors to see where that can go further. I'm working on something with my friend Kevin to try to get a hubs world going. Um, I have some other personal projects I'm doing. So anyway, you can see here, this is kind of just like the main area, but already there's like some cool stuff going on here. As far as presentation goes, I think they do a really great job because uh, the art sort of speaks for itself, and then when you get closer, the the digital placards show up, so they're not intrusive. Um, it's just really clean. It's really well laid out, and the more I spend in worlds like this, the more I think about um, presentation and um, architecture, and how having like backgrounds in spatial not spatial design, but interior design and things like that, lighting, really do make a difference when you're creating a space like this that's supposed to kind of be evocative of a traditional gallery or installation space. Um, but it does really make a difference when you have, aesthetically, this just looks gorgeous. Um, from a design point of view, things have a really nice um, kind of visual. Oh, I keep knocking into this thing. That's going to be a theme today, probably until I get used to this being here. Um, but there's like when you think about museum design, um, you have to think about, okay, how are you leading the person into the experience? Um, how does that tie into the placards themselves and everything? And here, the design language is it's really clean, right? You have arrows that lead you to everywhere. It's divided by, um, RGB, which kind of goes into the whole digital thing. I haven't gone down here yet, but we'll go into that later. Let's just start with this first area. Even before you get into the gallery space, you're transported, which I think is really a really nice way to cleanse the palette before you go into here. So here's the first space. And again, like I said, all the art's on display, but when you go up to it, that's when you see the placard here, which I think is nice. Um, so what you see here is you've got avatars on display, you've got shaders on display. Some of these things you can actually purchase, and you'll see there the booth link for the folks who are the creators of this. Some of these are interactive as well, so you can actually again, I don't have arms on this, so let me switch to a different one. So you can change the properties of these. And it's very clean, right? This is like the traditional gallery layout, but done in a virtual way. Here, if you can see, I have to do set up another avatar here. Maybe this one. Here you can kind of see the shaders. In this case, a composite of several shaders. This one I think is really nice. All right, let's just zip through here real quick. You know, again, if this was a real space, this would be beautifully laid out. Not completely dark. You've got this kind of lighting in the corners here. So some of these you can pick up. What I'm not sure about is if they snap back into place. In other experiences, that was the case. I think in VRChat, things would snap back after a certain amount of time. I feel kind of guilty leaving out an exhibit piece like that, but here we have one that's really cool. Nice thing is, this was a physical space. You couldn't walk into the artwork like this. Got a fire shader. This one, not sure what this is. This one's really nice. It looks like the Aurora Borealis. And so being in spaces like this just makes me think about, as an artist, you know, to create something like this and have it on display, the amount of preparation and logistics and materials and installation and technical expertise and contractors you would need to set this up to hang like that. Maybe, you know, maybe these would be LED panels or something, you know, if it was in real life. I think the ability to do it in a space like this and just see the artwork is really powerful and liberating for someone who just wants to create things and doesn't want to have to like be limited by, you know, real world obstacles. This one's really great. I could just imagine this being in a castle and having all these candles turned on surrounding you. Here's another one that's interactive. So this one you can imagine being in a nightclub world, which I did hop around a few of those nightclubs last night just to kind of see what they were about. And those are also beautifully rendered environments, highly interactive spaces. But here you can kind of see what that would look like, having lighting that you can control, have it follow, you know, some kind of either a person or have it follow like a null object that you have animated. I'm trying to see what this light here is for. I wonder what that's for. Light is Strange. Oh. Wait a minute. Huh. Very curious. I'm not sure what that light at the top is for. Because it's like not really pointing at anything. But maybe it's just another way to show how the light could be set up as opposed to these tiny ones. Anyway, here we have another really cool shader. There's examples of similar ones in there that are interactive. Oh, here we go. This is the same one. Just I mean, this kind of stuff is beyond me in terms of the mathematics necessary to render these things. But they're really fun to play with. Here we have an accessory. So when it comes to ray marching, I don't know if this is something that would be optimized for you to wear in VRChat. I'm not really sure how that works. There are some examples in here that kind of like started lagging my computer. You could see someone who wants to create jewelry without limitations could be using that. So here's a 6-sided ray marching cube. The crazy thing is, if you look at it from different angles, you see different things. In this case, I went into it, whoa. I saw a lot of examples of this in VCat where you're in an entirely different space once you step into a cube that has like a material on it. This one's the one that's sort of glitching me out. There's like so much going on in here. Here we have a miso soup. We have a crystal shader. This one's kind of cool. Kind of see where someone's standing. This would be a nice installation piece in and of itself if you had, like in the real world, if you had this projected somehow and had something on the floor that could recognize like a heat map of where people are standing. Here's one that's interactive. Another one. This one I expected it to move around a lot more, but this one here, you pull on these things, you can change the path of this train, and the terrain also. Yeah. Kind of cool. This one, after image. When you move it, that's nice. Here we have a cylindrical. No UVs have been used on this. Just kind of like wraps around texture. Oh, I see. So when I move this thing, when I move my head, this thing moves. That's a nice technique. But it's only on the side. Huh. Here's another one of those. So I step into this, I'm inside a treehouse. Imagine people creating worlds within spaces. See? This one says shield. Oh, okay. Way to shield yourself from other people. Another interactive one here. For the fractal lovers out there. The fact that I'm doing this real time is what blows my mind. Imagine a virtual VJ set where the VJ is controlling fractalized set pieces or holograms. You'd have to put like a filter on it so that it's not too like, you know, trippy, but you know, that would make for a good installation piece, I think. Here we have a like a waveform. Really nice presentation. This thing would be beautiful if it was encased in glass in like a museum or something. Imagine like SoundCloud in VR where you see this. That's nice. Here's one that. Where's the placard for this? There is no placard. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's just hard to see. Shadow picture. When I walk into it, you just turn black and white. Who is Ghost? Here's another one of these where when you walk in, this one's called Globe. This one I really like. Whoa. From the inside, it kind of looks a bit strange. To be in the right angle. You have to be like dead center. Otherwise, it looks like a stretched out. Okay. Exit. This area alone looks like it could be. What's that one museum or that one installation? The dude that does the light installations. James Turrell. Yeah, so I could totally see this being a James Turrell. In fact, that might be a fun project to make. And you honestly, you wouldn't have to use any. You could probably make it really optimized if it's just colors. Here we have some fashion. Cell shaded fashion going on. Hair. Another example of different types of shaders you can put on clothes. Transparent shaders. What I appreciate about this is that you can see the look without having to go to Unity and like building anything. You can kind of get an idea of what it does. The other cool thing they have is they've got test tools, so you can test the lighting. See how your shader is affected by different lighting situations. Very curious if the creators, like to what degree they have experience in museums, being digital artists, or um, they have traditional art experience as in physical artwork. This is cool. This it reminds me of like a leash or something. More interactive jewelry. That's nice. There's another example of the ray marching. This one I really like. Very simple. It's just using. Well, I say that knowing full well that I'm not someone who's capable of like coding this, but it's kind of like following this cube or this. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. An octahedron, is that what that's called? This one's actually causing a little bit of lag. And then here you can see some other types of shaders. Now, this to me is really what I want to do with this avatar here. Something similar. Maybe not as dense, but some kind of a more natural, like less stiff, I want the form to still be there, but I don't want I want some movement like this. Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe if I can figure out shaders, I can update this avatar. Here's a black hole. You can see how it affects the environment. I think these are screen space shaders. Like I look at some of the collections that VRChat creators use, and there's some that like affect the screen space, and there's some that affect the model itself. Don't take my word for that yet. I have to still get familiar with the terminology. So we've got some fake lighting going on here, really nice. Volumetric fog. And then here we have like a toon shader. Trying to figure out what's going on her foot. Thought that one's like a skate, but it looks like some kind of weapon of some sort. So again, here we can see how the lighting affects the shader. moving on. So here we have a photo frame and some more toon shaders. This one's pretty wild. So if you look at it from this angle, oops. I think this probably came from Shader Toy and was brought in. Grass, clear water. I see the difference there when I got this thing which looks like a giant lollipop. Okay, then we've got a galaxy going on here, and that's really nice. These are really beautiful. And then a vector field. The thing is, you can stick your head in it. Another noise shader, scale of it. I suppose you could do this in real life. You could create like a Unity or Unreal environment, and then use something like the Looking Glass or some type of what is it called? Pepper's Ghost or whatever, that kind of effect where you fake out the hologram by using like mirrors and stuff. But it's just really cool to see it in 3 dimensions and not have to, you know, use like a touch panel or anything. You just reach out and change the scale at will. Here's another one. Got like some kind of fractal thing going on. This one I thought was cool. So I like their user interface for this. It reminds me of the old Neos UI, where you kind of had to like turn your wrist. Or you can use the turning to change the pattern. I can't wait till we wind up like being able to wear clothes that changes the design like that. Here's another texture using SVG HLSL textures. And I've seen some software where it kind of takes your hard drive and makes it look like this. Kind of see what's taking up room on your hard drive. All right, let's exit here and go back. Blue. I'm gonna run through this one pretty quickly. No, wait, I just did blue. Let's do green. So of course we've got the matrix shader going on. This is pretty neat. I'll have to look to see if there's any worlds that have this set up where it's just dedicated to the matrix in that sense. Oh, we just went through this one. We have one more left. Blue. So of course got the underwater shader going on, really nice, peaceful. Revenge of the Cubes. This one you can actually move around. Here we have some hearts. This one is called the Love Box. This room looks like it's dedicated to cubes. This one, oh, this one's really neat. It's like a lava lamp, like in 3D. Here we have the same love beam, but like in 2D form. Other cool VLSL shader going on. This, I don't know what it is, but definitely causing some lag. Other stuff going on. Here's a jigsaw shader. What else we've got? Noise, okay. This person loves using noise. Cool. Noise stone. You walk into it. Really beautiful. 3D dissolve with noise. Cool. Really nice. I'd love to have this like as a physical piece of artwork. One's cool too. Nice. Are these all by the same creator? Yeah, that makes sense. Here we have Crazy Emission by Reflex. This one's another one of my favorites. Kind of like this Andy Warhol thing going on. This is another one I would love to have physically. It's just like a piece on the wall that you'd be able to walk past. That's cool. This one I love. Almost looks like tabs of acid or something, right? And here's the quad tree again, just in 2D form. Also, something that would be, I think, really nice to have as a physical piece of artwork. Oh, okay. I thought it activated when I walked up to it. We've got the plexus shader going on in 3 dimensions. This is really nice. Used to seeing it in like 2D form on websites or in Resolume or something. an anaglyph shader on a plane. That's cool. I turn it around. Let's see, avatar. Here we've got the mosaic, or rather, yeah, 8-bit. But I think it's, okay, it's not a mirror. It's just an 8-bit mosaic with RBG. Here we've got a skybox. Collection probe. Cool. This looks like something out of Star Trek. Looks like that game Alto. I think that's what the Vulcans play. Here's a measurement shader. I want to see the measurement from here to here. Here's a simple one that will look at the camera. I like that. Here we go. The 3D card. So on one side you have information, on the other side, boom. Look how it comes in. If I flip it back, flip it this way. That's nice. Here, this one is just showing off some information, but a lot of cool stuff going on. What about on the back side? Yeah. Here we've got a color picker. Really, again, something I'd love to have a real life version of. I'm not exactly sure how it works, how they're, like how you would pick the color with this. I guess, like which side is actually the one picking the color, you know? It looks nice. Here we have a projection mirror with some effects. So, whoa, okay. Oh, that's part of this one here. It's projecting a wireframe onto me. I wonder if I can take a photo. Yeah. Change avatars. Oh, let me try it on this one. Whoa. Okay. This one, pencil ring. Another one where you can kind of get a readout depending on your rotation of this object. That's kind of cool. Okay, almost done here. This one, oh, yeah, trippy there. This is kind of like that Peppers, what is it, like Peppers Ghost, where it looks like side by side stereo screen movie. Kind of off putting to you're already in VR, but to have this kind of ghostly visual effect. This one's really nice LED panel that you can adjust. And here we have, it's strange because there's no light behind me, but it's casting a shadow. Cool. Okay, so we did all of those. Last thing we want to try out is to see what's down here. Alpha. Whoa. Here we've got a fireworks Unity shader. And so this one I did see in the Booth marketplace. I think it's free actually. Whoa. What? Oh, okay. So depending on where I'm standing. This one is Towel Cloud. Wow. That's pretty great. So I'm changing this with the slider. I kind of like this one. You really need to be in a world where you can like set that on a timer and then have it change from night to day. Okay, and I think that's everything, unless let's go down this way. No, I think that's everything. All right. Go back here, and this is a good place to leave it off. Okay, so that was ShaderFest 2019. Again, I don't know if it's happening this year, but I'm looking forward to it if it is. And otherwise, I'm going to just check out some of these things on booth.pm, and hopefully I can add some of this to my avatar, or create some kind of environment that has some of these cool shaders in it. But anyway, thanks for watching, and let me know if the audio sounded any better. And yeah, that's it.